to 27 degrees SAG. And if you are an advocate for astrology or a student or a certified astrologer, you know that 27 degrees Sagittarius in your chart is actually the point of source. And we call it the galactic center. It is a very important part of your chart. And if you would like to have a reading with me, come on over to kimlalode.com and you can pick a half hour, an hour, and you can have a session for mediumship or also feng shui. And we also find sacred spaces for people all over the planet. We have a real estate referral network, and no matter what zip code, what country code you're in, we can fix you up. Okay. And that is with Caldwell Banker Premier Properties. I have an absolutely fabulous spiritual friend of mine, and we go way back. We were just talking about how far back we go, and we were kind of reminiscing a little bit. So I want you all to put your hands together for this fabulous, talented UFO researcher. He is also a medium, he's an intuitive. He will just astound you on what he can feel and what he knows and the messages that he gets as well. He's done some amazing exploration in all of this UFO research as far as where he lives in his own backyard in England. He's going to talk about what he has run into, and that is including stories of werewolves and spacecrafts and different experiences. So hang on to your seat, put your hands together for my spiritual friend, Bob Brown. Hello, Bob.
Hello there, Kimberly. So nice to hear that wonderful voice from all them years ago. I think it was about 2017 or maybe before.
Yeah, I think
Years or
so.
6 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was. And we've been going back and forth, with different shows. And I'm your guest, you're my guest, and tonight it's your turn to have this special spot. So you are such a great interviewer on your radio show. It's called Over the Rainbow Show with Bob Brown on Beacon of Light Radio. But I'm going to switch the tables up a little bit and I'm going to be doing the interviewing. So, you are from England. You want to tell us exactly where you're from?
Yeah, I was born in Halifax in West Yorkshire. I moved to a small seaside town called Bridlington on the northeast coast of the UK. Been there about nearly 40 years. Um, so where I live now, I'm about, I don't know, 500 yards away from the North Sea, and it's a very cold sea.
Mm,
Get the cold winds.
cold. Yeah.
But
Wow.
when we talk about experiences, I had my first experience when I was a child. Very spiritual. I had one like when I was 5 years old. My mum used to say to me, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "My little friend here." She couldn't see anybody, but I could. And it used to happen quite often. And I think my mum was worried about me, thinking, is there something wrong with Robert? She used to call me Robert, not Bob, but Robert, because Robert's my real name. And it used to go on day after day, and 6 or 7. And then my sister's a year younger than me. And I think she used to go to mum and say, "What's wrong with him? There's nobody in the room, but he's talking to somebody." But I could see something, and I can always remember talking to, and it was a little lad, and he used to talk and have fun and play things, and then it used to just disappear and then come back a day later. And it happened for quite a long time, that did. And I thought, what a great friend. And because I am a bit of a loner, really, sometimes. I like my own company. And I think as you grow up, you move on a little bit. And then when I came to live in Bridlington, I got back into spiritualism a little bit. Started to go to church again and meet like-minded people like myself. And then I moved to a holiday camp just outside Bridlington, and I started to do blog talk radio, and things started to happen in the flat. You know, like I was there one evening, and I think I must have been feeling sorry for myself. Sat in my comfy chair, and I'm closing my eyes, thinking, "Oh, why am I alone here?" You know, it's strange, very strange, and then all of a sudden, a figure to my left appeared, and it was Jesus. He just appeared out of nowhere to say, "You're never alone, Bob. I'm here. So don't be worried," as though you're worried about being on your own, but you're not on your own. So I know for a fact my mom's always around me. I can feel her sometimes touching me head and saying, "Come on, Bob, you're never on your own. You like to be on your own, but in other case, you'd rather have somebody with you sometimes." Strange, isn't it, Kimler?
Yeah. Oh, wow. That, I mean, that's got to just, restore your faith and validate everything that you've probably had in your belief system as a kid growing up and all of that. That is just, that's fabulous. Did you
And then, go on.
did you start then perhaps seeing again things that other people can't see?
Oh God, yeah, definitely. Lots of different things appeared in that chalet. I call it my chateau then. Only a small building. Uh, it wasn't a wooden building; it was a concrete building. But yeah, I felt as though floating off the bed sometimes at night time, astro traveling,
Wow.
doing lots of things, and then you go to church and somebody says, "I've got something for you, Bob," and they say you've been astro traveling again, haven't you, at night time? And I have been, you know. Um, what a beautiful thing to do! It just amazes you sometimes how it happens, and then I remember interviewing a guy called Nick Redfern on Blog Talk Radio, and he said to me, "You do realise somebody's listening in to your phone call now, and you could hear them at the other end." And then I should say, for about 3 months, every time I did a show, it went down quite often. So I kept getting people out from Sky to come and have a look. And it took 8 people to come out, different times, and said, "I can't find out wrong." I said, "Well, it keeps going down. I keep losing connection." And in the finish, one guy came and he went, "I found what the problem was. Somebody's pulled it out at the other end in town." And I said, "Why did they do that?" He said, "Well, if you're talking about UFOs or anything, somebody goes in there and pulls it out. I'll tell you why." And I thought, whoa, things are starting to happen around here more and more. And eventually we got it sorted out. And then it started again. Shadow people started to come into life again, walking in front of me. And during the day, it didn't bother me too much because I think sometimes it frightens people, Kimler.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's not everybody's what we say, everybody's cup of tea to someone walk in front of you and you think, "Oh my God, what's that? Where did that come from?"
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
that's,
still went,
that's crazy. The thing is about when you have one of those experiences, have you been writing them down at all?
Yeah, I write a diary,
That's good.
and I've got, I think I've got about 14 pages of things what have happened
Wow.
uh, in that place, and then I've moved twice since then. I'm in a top floor flat where I am now, and Paul, who's the owner, he's I do a lot of work with him. We go out investigating all over the place, and things what are happening here is just out of this world, really. You
I
know,
know Paul. Yeah, I've had Paul on, and you know what? There's some amazing activity, especially coming in, it's coming in from the sky and going through the water. And I was wondering, through what you remember, have you ever been taken up on a spaceship before?
well, it's strange enough. Only I'm just trying to think now. Just before I went to a conference in Blackpool where Van Danigan was 3 weeks ago. Just before that, a week before, um, I thought I was dreaming, but I felt as though there were a UFO above me. I was trying to take a photo of it, and I feel as though I was outside somewhere. And then next minute, I was back in bed. And you think, oh, I wonder if there's any marks on my body or anything like that. And it just you just don't know. I told Paul about it, and I told a guy called Chris Turner, and he said it could have been real. That Bob, what happened to you? You could have. I know you take photos, and then next minute you're on a board somewhere, and then they drop you back again. It just makes you wonder. Because sometimes when you look at things, you think, was I dreaming
Right,
or wasn't I?
right.
Um, Another experience is that behind me there's a reclining chair, and I was laid in that, basically just shutting my eyes on and off, and I thought, and I woke up, and the mirror above here, where we are now, there was an alien head appeared in the mirror. So that for that to be in the mirror has got to come at back of me. Where that picture is back of me now, there's an alien head at back of that, and it's 5'8" tall. But that appeared in the mirror, and I thought, how can that be to show an alien head in the mirror? So what I did, I laid down, put the thing on the wall. What I did, I cut a piece of paper out, drew an alien's head on it, stuck it on the wall to the right height so it would show in the mirror, and it was 5'8" tall. But it was an oblong head.
And did it
You
talk
know,
to you, telepathically? Did you converse with it at
no,
all?
it was just like staring at me, and I was taken back a bit. I'm
I would
looking
think
at it.
so.
What's that doing there in the
Right.
mirror? And I didn't realize, because you're thinking, how can that go in that mirror? But it's a reflection from back of me.
So was it green? Was it blue? Was it gray? What color was it?
No, it wasn't. It was like um, more like a human color, but oblong head. Just strange,
Yeah.
completely, absolutely strange. I just couldn't get over it. I told Paul about it. I wrote it. Well, I write everything in my diary then, and he can always revert back to it. If somebody said, "What date was that?" Because dates mean a lot sometimes. If you're looking at things, and it could have been a Tuesday, say it happens another Tuesday, another Tuesday, you think, well, is this happening regular on a Tuesday or a Thursday? So sometimes it's better to write it down and then try and find out the exact time as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. So
Yeah,
Did you feel as though, there's got to be an air, there's got to be a spacecraft close by? Were you afraid to get up? Did you feel like you were paralyzed sitting in the chair, like I can't move?
No, I wasn't. No, that's happened in bed quite a few times when I've been paralysed.
Right.
Um, when I've been in bed, and then I can't remember the date of it now, but I've got it wrote down. Where I was in bed another time where I was paralysed completely, but somebody was laying at side of me in bed, totally, and I couldn't move, and I was trying to look around to see anything, and I couldn't see out, but I put my hand at side. I thought, oh, who's that at side of me? And I live on my own, so there's nobody supposed to be in the bedroom. I'm not so lucky. And I thought, who's that there? And then it all came back to normal. So
Wow.
sometimes, um, do paralyzed. Another instance in the bedroom, I've been in bed about, I don't know, 5 minutes when it felt as though there were little children jumping on my bed at the bottom. Absolutely jumping on it. And I thought, that can't be right. Where'd they come from? I spoke to Mary Rodwell in Australia. She talks about abduction with kids and everything. She said they could have been aliens jumping on your bed. I don't know about that. I can't just say, but they were jumping on bed, and then as soon as I sat up, it just went quiet completely.
Wow.
And then you're thinking, was that real? Did that
Right.
happen?
Right. Was I sleeping? Am I dreaming? Right. Was
Yeah,
it real?
yeah,
Yeah.
because you've got to, but I'd only been in bed 5 minutes. So I know for a fact, I checked clock and I thought, well, I haven't been in long, but this is happening, or is it in my consciousness?
Right. Well, it's kind of funny because we are at a time now where, going through Earth, going through the photon belt, we are picking up maximum speed, but not just that. We have never been through this kind of energy as a planet. And what it does is it raises the frequency to the point of your consciousness. And there's different timelines and different dimensions to be explored, not just when you go to sleep and you're in dream state, but actually when you are awake and you know how sometimes you've had like, oh, deja vu, like you'll stop and you'll go, oh my gosh, what I just experienced, I've dreamt that somewhere or I've been there somehow.
True.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I know that's exactly how it played out. And it's almost like we're getting this more and more. And when you do fall asleep and you wake up, it's harder and harder to pull yourself out of that dimension that you're um, in order, to get up, go to work, do whatever you need to do here in your lifetime in the 3D on planet Earth. I've had so many people say to me, I'm in my car, I'm driving, and I go into a different dimension. I don't even know how I parked the car, don't know how I got into the office or the shopping supermarket. I just was on autopilot. And in the
Mm.
meantime, I was experiencing this whole different scenario. And so I've been hearing that a lot more frequently than ever before. So
Do you
I'm not
think we're
surprised.
open? You think we're opening our consciousness more now? A
Yes,
lot of people.
yes. I think what it is I think that you are able to expand into, different timelines at the same time, because time is happening, simultaneously. I know that's hard to understand, but time actually is happening all at once. So when you jump on these different avenues and these different experiences, they can all happen at once. You can be in one place, or you can be of another occupation, or experiencing another partner, or experiencing another part of the country, or the planet. And then you wake up and you're like, whoa, that was so real. That wasn't a dream. It was so real. I mean, I can still smell the person. I was in a very, very hot climate, and I'm just sweating. I'm really hot. I mean, you physically do, experience this, that it just brings it into such a reality, that you can't shake it for a while. And you can revisit that timeline on and on again as well. But I know, from so many people about, you know, going into your bedroom and being comfortable and being on your bed, maybe going to sleep or dozing off. And the next thing you know, you wake up and you are aboard a ship, and there's panels in front of you, and you feel like you're at home, and you know how to fly a spaceship. How would you know? And you have all of these different types of experiences that when you do wake up and you are back in reality and you research them, you see all of these particular technology sources that they're using. They are being resourced. They are easy to look up, easy to find, and people are astounded, that they would even know that. Have you heard of that happening?
Oh yes, I have. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the point about it, where this house where I'm living now is Paul's house. When he bought it, he didn't realise, but there were lots of letters in the house when he bought it, and he got rid of them all. And he found out later that the woman was a psychic medium, and he didn't realise. If he'd have known, he'd have probably kept them all, because he hadn't been in it long, and there were a knock at the door. It was a man called Tom Willis, and he was the exorcist man of Great Britain. And he knocked
Oh.
on his door and he said, so Paul said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Yeah, I've come to bless the house." So Paul said, "Why? Why?" He said, "Well, come in a minute then." And he had four girls there, Paul, and they're all quite young at that time. He said, "I just want to go to the top room. That's where I live now." And he was on about different things. And Paul went, "I want you out of the house now. You're frightening the girls." So anyway, Paul said, "I'm sorry, but you'll have to go. It's frightening the children." And what it is where I am now, I've got a lounge, kitchen, and a bedroom. Well, that's where the girls slept, and they were having problems then. When
Oh.
Paul first got the house, he used to come up weekends to do some work on it, and on the top flat, he said he was laid there one night and he could see the railings, because it's an old Victorian house then, and the old railings are going bright white colour, and he said, "I was amazed. They just lit up." And he said, "I thought I saw an alien in the house then." So there's
Oh.
things happened in this house. Paul's seen aliens downstairs as well, where he's got the bottom flat. I've got the top flat, and somebody's got the middle flat. We haven't told them yet about what's happening. But I've had So Paul, things have happened in this house, and he says to me, I wish they'd have looked at them letters now. There could have been something in them spiritual letters. He said there were bags full of them, and I just got rid of them.
Wow.
And and Tom Willis, well, he was the main bloke in all of the UK what did things like that to get rid of bad spirits and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got called in many times to clear homes where people have died, remove the imprints, or find, um, find some type of demon or some kind of entity within the home.
Yes,
And I have done that work. It's not very many people do that work, and it is, you have to be very strong, and you
protect
can't,
yourself at all times.
yeah, you can't have any like open wounds or anything, or anything that would, be bleeding or anything like that. You can't do any kind of um, clearing work when that cycle is happening. However, I must say that when I do that work, I always call on Archangel Michael to come with me and to help me,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
always feel him. He's very big, huge, and has huge wings. But when he puts his hands on my shoulder, one hand goes all the like, oh, and and he manipulates energy. He manipulates energy from the solar plexus on me and blasts out this protective type of very, very strong energy out of the solar plexus. And it actually makes any kind of lower vibratory rate or entities or anything like that very, very uncomfortable. They're very
mm,
uncomfortable with this type of light. When I go in, I've also uh, been hired to go into a very famous ranch in Dallas, Texas. And this particular ranch had a virus, and all of the cattle had died, and they just like dropped in the meadow and
right,
ranch. Yeah. And the owner said to me, I need for you to go, and I need for you to remove the imprints of the virus and the death of the cattle. And when I did that, I mean, you literally can feel the imprint of death, and you need to let it go, and then you raise them up. I was busy. I think I was there for 2.5 hours.
oh,
Really clearing that field and that ranch. And then I noticed that there was a horse stable, and went into the horse stable. And right away, there's a tack room where they keep the saddles, and they keep the reins, and they keep all of that
right,
in the tack room. And they always have a refrigerator there, um, that they keep any kind of medicine that the horses are on, or antibiotics or anything like that. Well, right behind the refrigerator were these haystacks, and there was a spirit sitting on the haystacks. And this particular
ah,
spirit was an old ranch hand. And he sat there, and right away I felt he was not good, that he meant trouble. So telepathy comes into play, and I asked him, who he was, why he was there. He told me his name, and he said he was there before the new owner took hold of the ranch, and that
right,
he didn't like the new owner. And so I told him that he had to go. And again, you can feel that imprint coming out. And
of course
I
you can.
yeah, I led him out of the stables, and then something told me to go back in there. And do you know, Bob, I went back in there and I looked where he was sitting on top of that haystack, right, right in back of the refrigerator. He was sitting there fraying the cord, the electrical cord. That would have caused a
Oh, of
fire.
course
That
it would.
Yes. And because the hay was right there, that would have caused the whole thing to, you know, to really catch on fire. And all of the horses were in there. When I came out of there and, fixed everything, moved everything around, when I came out of there, all of the horses had their heads out of their stalls and they were all like going like this, like, thank you so much. They were like so pleased that I had found that. And when I showed it to the owner, she couldn't believe it. She knew exactly who this ranch hand was, and the ranch hand had passed away on property. And
Ah,
yeah. So, my question to you is, was the psychic medium, did she pass away in that house that you're in?
I'm not right sure about that, but
Hmm.
so things have happened. Like I'm what 30 foot up. A shadow came from the wall to the right of me, in front of the TV, and into the other wall. And this were about, I don't know, 6 foot tall. The shadow, and it just went gone. And I thought, what was that?
Well, since we've been talking since the beginning of the show, you've had a shadow move right in front of you. I can see it. Can anybody else see the shadow in front of Bob? It's trying to come on the show.
I'll tell you a really good thing. I interviewed Andrew Collins on my show, and after the show, Susan says to me, 21 minutes into the show, a voice came through. So she said, but I'll get Jennifer to enhance it. And Andrew's talking about interdimensional beings. And this voice came through and said, exchange it, explain it. Anyway, I had it analysed by a guy called Mick Park, well, Paul did, who works with Robbie Williams in his studio, and he said it's not coming from the station, it's not coming from Andrew's end, it's coming from the room you and Paul were sat in, at back of us somewhere. And it was an automated voice what came through just to
Right.
say to Andrew, can you explain it more?
Right. Well, you still
But
have the shadow right. It's right here on you. You still have the shadow there. It's
it's
there. I can
still
see
here.
it. Yes, you can. It's definitely there, and it's definitely an imprint. And I don't know if it will, give us a little sign and flick your lights on and off if you would like, if you have a message or something. But it's definitely there. Um, Someone in the chat room says, I too see it coming in from the right side of the screen, stronger at times. So you definitely have someone, you're not alone, Bob.
Oh, definitely. Definitely not alone. Um, you know, I could, in fact, looking in the screen there, it looks as though there's this side, that side there, up here, the opposite side, as though there's it looks misty on that
Yeah,
right hand side.
but on the other side, it looks like it. It says, okay, somebody else. Hi, everybody in the chat room. Thanks so much for coming in. We're delighted. We have an entity right on the show tonight. So someone else, Bill says, I see it on the right side of the screen. Yeah, it's on the right side of the screen. on
Yeah.
how we're seeing it is on the right side of the screen. So yeah, and it moved in. It wasn't there in the beginning of the show, but as we
No.
were talking, it decided to come in. So it wants to say hi. So hello, entity, whoever you are, peace be with you. And
Yes.
if you would like to give us a sign, go right ahead for only for Bob's best and highest good, of course. So if there's something that you want to communicate with us, we're more than happy to have you on the show this evening. We were,
Exactly. I should have put something down for him to light it up. I'll do it in
yeah,
a minute. I've got right. Yeah, it's a strange place. I can. A good friend of mine. I had on the show about a month ago. He'd had a slight stroke, and so I'm giving some healing to him. And a doctor appeared at side of me, all in white, to just say, "Bob, what you're doing? You're doing a good job." And he just appeared at side of me, and I thought, "That's good." It's giving me a good feeling to say what I'm doing is healing this person.
it's working. Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
That's it.
and
You're
I
getting
thought,
instant validation there, Bob. That's the,
yes, well, that's what I'm just thinking. Then I thought, well, what a great thing that is for somebody to. I'll be with you in a minute. I'm just trying to get some out in my bag here. If I can find it.
okay.
So yeah, so the things what are happening here, it doesn't frighten me, Kimla.
Right.
I'm just thinking, and I tell you what happens as well, because some people say, "Why me?
Yeah.
Why are they coming round me?" Many a
Right.
time. You think that when dark shadows appear, I know in bedroom one night something came out of the wall and it looked like a Egyptian head came out of the wall.
Wow.
Um, and then you're just thinking, why is that happening?
Yeah. Trying to teach you how to walk like an Egyptian.
I like that. I like that. Yeah,
Eh,
like an Egyptian. Yeah. I'll be with you. 2 ticks of a top. I'm just trying to find where it is. What have I done with it? Ah, here we go. I've got a meter, and
oh,
if
there you
you're
go.
around, I
Oh,
could light it
great.
up.
Does it need a
Yeah,
battery?
it's a laser meter.
Oh, there we go. See if it records to your left, Bob. See if it
Yeah,
records
so
something to your left.
I'll switch it on anyway. And if they
Yeah.
want to communicate with us, they will do. So it's flashing now.
Okay.
So, if you want to ask it a question, yeah, so I can see it's that side again. That side, should I say.
But we
It's
see it on.
around us anyway. And it's yeah, it's going over. Yeah, I'll tell you what I want to talk about as well. During lockdown, me and Paul, he says to me, let's go out let's have a drive out. I said, it's quiet.
Mhm.
So we drove to a friend's farm and parked up, walked down the seafront. So we're at top of cliffs. So cliffs are about, I don't know, maybe 400 foot to the
Wow.
sea, to the bottom of the level. Um, we got everything rigged up, got cameras rigged up and everything. And this guy walked down, he said, just be quiet, Bob. Can hear some planes flying over. He said, down to the right, there's a guy walking with his dog. Anyway, he came up and he went, all right, lads. And I went, yeah, we're all right. He said, what you after looking at? Don't forget, this place we go is a bird sanctuary.
Oh, okay.
And so he said, what you after? That's the eagle. I said, no, no, no. He said, well, I'm going to have a walk. I'll be back in an hour. Anyway, on the hour, he walks back and he said, "Have you seen it then?" I said, "No." I said, "We're after looking for these orange lights what appear in the sky." He said, "Well, I live at Reeton. That's about, I don't know, 4 miles away." He said, "I've lived in a house what overlooks the sea. I've never seen these orange lights at all." Oh, I said, "All right." Um, I said, "Have you seen the Black Panther then?" "No." I said, "Well, have you ever seen any strange animals?" So he says to his dog, they call his dog Alf. Strange dog it is as well. It's a working dog. So if it looks at animal, like if it looked at a rabbit, it's standing a certain way. And he went, "I want to tell you something." I thought, oh, he's going to tell us about a bird or something. He said, "I parked up at Reeton Sands and you go down a very steep hill to the beach." He said, "When I get down the bottom, I turn right. I'm walking on a bit and I'm thinking, what's the dog looking at? He's flashing over there, so there's somebody around us. And I'm looking up and I think, what's that there?" So he didn't tell us at the beginning, but he got some binoculars. So he put his binoculars on and he thought, what's that donkey doing up halfway up a cliff? There's a bit of a fencing. It's not as high as cliffs where we are. And he went, so I'm looking and I thought, what the hell is that? Anyway, he said it stood up on its hind legs. And he said, if you ever see Harry Potter, the film Harry Potter, it's the werewolf of that. I said, what did you do? He said, he looked at me and looked at the dog and then just ran off and it disappeared.
Now, was it a werewolf or was it a donkey? I'm confused.
He thought it was a donkey, but when he got his binoculars out and had a look, it's a werewolf.
A werewolf?
He said, if you ever watch Harry Potter, it's the werewolf what's on there. So I said, well, what did you do then? He said, well, I carried on walking, went back home, never told my wife, never told anybody else. You're the first person, you and Paul, I've told the story to.
Wow. Wow. So werewolves, don't they only come out at like full moons or something?
Well, what we said to him was, Paul said to him, oh, the guy said it were a full moon. And he said, I think it was in 2019. Anyway, Paul Googled it and it was the 12th of November, 2019. And it was a full moon. It was what did he say now? It was a certain moon beginning with W. I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, so he said, I couldn't believe what I was saying. And we met him again 3 weeks later at a different place walking his dog. And we said to him, just tell Amanda, a friend of ours, what you saw. And he told it the same story. But in 2019, 2020, a couple had come up for a holiday at Flamborough Head and got there about 8 o'clock at night. Thought they'd go for a walk at 9:30 to South Landing. They walked through a car park, and you can go to the top, and then you take some steps down. As you got halfway down, so they don't like it here. Something strange happening. So they walked back up, and he said, "What's that statue standing on top of a bit of this cliff?" And she went, "Well, that wasn't there before." And he said the same thing. He said he's 6 foot, and he said it was hunched down, and then it wanted to sit up a bit, and he said it was 6 foot odd, and they said the same thing. If you watch Harry Potter, it's the werewolf on that. And this between that guy seeing a Reeton to Flamborough is about 3 miles.
So what color are the eyes on the werewolf?
They reckon they were, I think they were yellow, I think.
Yellow, right?
Strange.
Yes, a
Same.
weird yellow. That's what I'm seeing too when you describe it. I'm seeing a yellow. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And
But when you talk about that, there's been quite a few sightings down that coast. In a 40-mile radius, I should say, there's been about 6 sightings now over a matter of 4 years.
have there been any strange disappearance of people or anything that you would think that, the werewolf was on the warpath or hungry?
There's been, in 2017, 60 sheep had been killed,
Oh, wow.
throats taken out, like Skinwalker Ranch, skin off the face taken, but no blood round them at all.
No blood around him.
No blood, no sign of blood, as though they'd been dropped from the sky.
Did it
In
look like a
fact,
did it look like a laser had done this
well,
work or
yeah, because some of the ears have been cut off. So it's very strange, really. I know Paul had got up about 4 o'clock in the morning. He used to get it quite early because he knew the farmers and said, right, I'm going to go up there early morning. If I find a sheep dead, I'll just call the farmer and just say, look, you better get down here. There's another one. I found another one. And he'd found one. And when he turned it over, he thought, well, that's quite warm. As though it hadn't been dead long, as it
Right.
just dropped from the sky.
Wow.
So
Wow.
all that, it came to a point in this farmer's life where he sold all his sheep and they ain't got no more now. He'd lost so many, it was costing him a lot of money.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I think what had happened, he'd lost 40, and in winter months he used to move them about 4 or 5 mile away, and then fetch them back when it were lambing season again. Fetch them back again, and but it started again.
Wow. So have you seen any UFOs and spacecraft in that area at all?
Yeah, we've seen. Well, these orange lights what appear in the sky, they've got some. When you see them, they just appear in the sky like 1, 2, 3, like the Phoenix lights.
Mhm.
But there were 6 in a row, and then they'll just disappear, but they'll come back again. And these lights have got so much intelligence with them, because 1 minute you can fetch somebody strange up, they will appear for them, and then me and Paul might not see anything for 4 months.
Wow. Wow.
But these lights are the same size in the sky. Even if they were, I don't know, 40 miles away, they're still the same size.
And they're
And
orange.
it's orange in colour, but when you take them in a photo, they're not orange. They're like a bright white colour. I've got them
Oh.
on. I've got them on camera, and Paul's got them on video. But what are they? They're not flares. They're
Do
like
they
they're
do they
like
have
both.
like a triangle shape? Are they in like a
No,
shape
they're
that
round. They're
they're
round,
round?
completely round.
And do they like, jut off or go real fast or any kind
No,
of pattern?
they just appear as though it's like a light, like a torch shining, and then they just go out, and then they appear again in a different place.
Oh wow. Have you
It can
seen
be up or
anything?
down, or that way, to the left, to the right,
Oh.
and then
Have you
sometimes I know in a 20-minute spell once we had 13 lights appear.
Wow. Definitely something going on.
But it's a strange area. You've got to look into, are they in ley lines? because some places, because it used to be where the bird sanctuary is, there's an RAF base used to be there, and it's not for landing; it's all underground. They used it.
Oh,
Tell you, RAF Benton is a ground-controlled interception radar station, Benton, operational during the war years, to detect any aircraft inbound to the East Coast. Its close proximity to the cliff's edge gave maximum coverage after the war. The station carried on its defending responsibilities to Britain, formerly part of the radar network of the whole country in the Cold War. But it's all underground. There's tunnels everywhere.
yeah, there's tunnels everywhere. Wow. And now, is that
Um,
active? Is it active now? Are
no,
military?
it
No, no.
ceased to quite a while ago, and then satanic people used it for quite a while. Uh,
Oh,
a satanic cult used it for a while. But, what did they fetch out of it? Just makes you wonder, doesn't it?
yeah, absolutely.
Did
Yeah.
they open any gateways or
Yes.
portals or
Portals.
anything
Yes.
for,
Yes.
for, for things to come out like
Right.
a werewolf? Don't
Right.
know, dear.
Right. They awaken the underworld, and they were there's another thing that is circulating now, that yes, because of the boring into the earth for minerals and gold and water and whatever, that they are, oh,
Right.
look at that, it's going now,
I know it is, I know.
right
Backwards
where
and
you are.
forwards.
Go to the left a little
Yeah.
bit. Go to the left. Go to the left, Bob. Okay, go to is
It's lightning up.
it's lightening up.
But,
Yeah, you have something right there on you. It's lightening up.
oh, yes, I know. Yeah. I'll put it back there. Yeah. So it just makes you wonder about a lot of people from the bird sanctuary don't realize you were on about missing people.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few gone from up there, not jumped. People have parked the car genuine, put the money in the parking meter, gone for a walk and just disappeared. Gone,
Wow.
vanished.
In the bird
So
sanctuary?
it's a bird sanctuary, yes. Gannets and all different sorts of birds come every year. So you get a lot of people up there, but they don't look in the sky. All they're doing is looking at birds below the cliffs, taking videos of them. It's just that they don't seem to be interested in anything like that.
Right.
And then when you see we've gone up in the night time, and then you get the odd woman walking around. I think she's walking on her own. She doesn't realise that people have gone missing. We're not trying to frighten people. We just say, just be careful. Don't go up in dark.
Yeah, especially if there's a werewolf that's, loose over there. Wow. So
You know,
tell
I,
me a
I
little bit, we've only got a little time left, but what have you learned about the secret space program? And what is England involved in? Do you have anything going on there?
well, what I think is about UFOs and everything like that. We don't get a lot of coverage over here in the media, in the papers. America do more than what we do now. I used to think, but when you start talking about it, there's only one guy now. He's got a TV show now called Howard Hughes, they call him, not the guy with the aeroplane, but he has a program on every Sunday night on Sky called Talk TV. He does a program at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. He interviews a lot of people around the world about UFOs. So, but usually you might get a bit in paper about a UFOs being seen or something. But if you did an interview for a local daily paper, you get ridiculed. they won't write down what you've said.
Oh.
They'll write something different. Now, I'm not saying to try and mock you, but you've just got to be careful what you say to papers.
Right.
And I think it's, but as UFOs goes, I believe in them. I know they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
We interviewed a guy who used to fish at top of the cliffs between October and the 1st of March. You can fish at top of the cliff, so you're on about 300 foot below. So they're casting out. And he said one night, this spacecraft landed on top of this hill. And I thought, it's November. What's a combined harvester doing up there? So he thought that's strange, but he could see the land below the craft, and it was burning a little bit. And we knew it's anyway. They all disappeared, left all the gear, and came back day after. Anyway, one night we were up there and we bumped into him. I said, so Paul said, "Can we interview you about the things?" And we asked him about the orange lights. Have you ever seen them? He said, I've done 50 years, I've never seen them. We interviewed him. I go on camera, Paul's interviewing him. As soon as we put the lights away, all these orange lights appeared in the sky for him, what he's never seen before. So they've got some intelligence to them. It's just strange how he's never seen them in his life, but they appear for him. And he went, is them orange lights? I said, yeah. How can that be?
Wow.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we don't, you see things in the sky. We see a lot of satellites in the sky where we live. Well, where we go to Benton, but there's odd things where you see things shoot up and you think, that's got to be a UFO, that has.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Bob, we're getting to the end here. I'm just going to ask you if you are getting any messages at all from our people in the chat room that are listening to you. We have one person, and she's having a birthday soon. Her name is Sheena. I was wondering if you could, Sheena, can you tune into Sheena and see if there's any messages coming for her?
Sheena, let's have a think. Let's have a see. What's for Sheena? There's somebody around her. I don't know. Somebody's giving me a ring to give to her. So I don't know if somebody around is getting engaged or not.
Oh, maybe. She's married.
And there's somebody around her is pregnant as well.
Wow.
I do know that. And there's she needs to sign some papers.
Okay.
But you've got to look underneath. Read the small print before you sign it. And this paper's been going round for weeks. It's been like shoved in a drawer, pulled out of a drawer, shoved in a drawer, pulled out. I'll deal with it next week. But it needs to be done.
Needs to be done.
And, oh, yeah. There's a birthday coming up for somebody as well. Very soon.
It's her birthday.
I don't know if it's an 18th birthday or not.
Interesting.
Star sign as well. There's some good news coming our way as well, financially.
Oh, good. That's
They always wanted finance is always a good one.
Yes.
Holidays as well. A plan. Somebody wants to go abroad. I'm going to say ski. Somebody wants to go skiing. So I don't know where they've planned. Yes. Don't know where they've got planned to go, but somebody wants to go skiing. So look out. Look out for that. Telegram.
Awesome.
Somebody's going to get a telegram as well from
Ooh,
far away from the east.
from the east. Wow.
Yes. And do the lottery. They've just told me.
Do the what?
The lottery.
Lottery. Oh, yes. Do the lottery. Very good. Do you
Oh,
have
yes.
any do you have any messages for Carla?
Oh, yes, you can see it. Carla. Tell you what, this is give me. It's strange enough. Treacle sponge and custard. Don't know why. It's something to do. She must love sweets.
She must love
A bit of a,
sweets.
yes. She must like she must like baking and making things. I don't
Okay.
know. Rich just told me to tell her that, but you make too much, she said, because all your food, what you do make, is good food.
Okay.
Somebody round her gets travel sickness.
Travel sickness?
Yes, yeah, they get travel sickness, and there's a few remedies out there. This person don't like taking tablets, so there is something else out there what you can use instead of tablets. I know there's an old remedy. Ice cream is good before you travel.
Wow. Okay.
It settles your stomach,
Oh,
and I
that's
know for a fact. Um, Years and years ago, I used to work. I used to do some work in an old people's home, and when we used to take them out, we used to give them ice cream, and it used to be all right. I
oh,
want to
that
give her a. I want to give her $1. I don't know why, but she'll know the significance of it when I've told her to give her $1. She'll know what it means.
a
It's going
dollar.
back a while. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any messages for Bill?
For Bill.
Bill.
Right. Right. What we've got for Bill? I've got a motorbike for Bill. I don't know why. I don't know if he's been interested in motorbikes in the past, but he's one of these guys. But probably, I'm going to say, love a motorbike now. But he's got a memory of a motorbike, definitely. Um, he's got some paperwork to do as well, to sign. Sign here, it says. Strange is that? He's got a doctor's appointment coming up. He needs a blood test.
Blood test? Yeah.
He needs a blood test.
Okay.
He's been doing, I'm going to say he's been doing too much, but sometimes he does a lot, and other times he don't want to do all. He's got somebody, oh yeah, somebody around him. It might be a distant cousin wants to get in touch with him. Somebody who has never been in touch for a long, long time is going to get a phone call to say, I would love to come and see you. Don't know who it is. They're just, Spirit's just telling me this.
Okay.
Keep getting pains in my chest now
Ooh.
and then.
Ooh, that's not good.
It goes away. Just get it checked out.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's gone again now. So it's probably one of these things where it comes on, but being a man, you just think, oh, I'd be right. Don't be bothered. But it
Yeah.
needs checking. That's probably why blood pressure and everything. It needs an MOT.
Okay.
And it says play your cards right. So I don't know he'll know what that means when you play your cards right. He'll know what that means anyway. He'll know what that means. play your card right.
Very good. All right, my darling, we are out of time. You have
Oh,
been delightful. I know we're just starting to get into the good stuff. Well, what's your meter saying now? Is it going off your meter?
we'll ask it a question.
Ask it a question. Okay. Are you the imprint of the psychic medium?
God, it's flashing.
Are you the spirit of the psychic medium? There it is. It's right in there. There it is.
Yeah, I can see it around.
Yeah. That is so cool that showed up tonight.
Yeah, well, I just remember it's in my bag. I take it. Well, I take it to Benton when we're going up there, just to see if because people have gone missing up there. I ask it questions up there then,
Yeah.
just to see if anybody's around.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes you get some amazing information on those things. Okay, Bob, I'm going to let you go. It is very late in England, and I am so happy that you came on the show tonight. It's been
well, thank you,
way
Kimber.
too
Thank
long
you
for a
very much.
wonderful chat with you about all of the spiritual things. I want you to take care of you, my darling.
Hey,
And
you too.
thank you. And thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us at 27 Degrees SAG. Make sure that you push the button to like, to share, and also subscribe. Until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Hey, just
Bye.
put there. Bye. And it's fading in and out with pinkish and purple hues. Because it's opposite side. It's that side up there.
Yeah, he's over there. Yeah, he's right over there. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Good night.